Good morning from Panhandle Outdoors, America's only daily outdoor TV show. Your source for fishing, hunting, and information for folks who enjoy the great outdoors. Now sit back, relax. It's Panhandle Outdoors.
All right, folks, here we are at the actual show. What I'm going to do, I'm going to do a walkthrough. I'm not going to stop and talk to anybody. I just want you to see sort of how big the show is. So I'm just going to try to keep walking and not stop, but I'm not going to stop. So here's the poster. Okay. All right, here are the club shirts this year in pink or blue. Really cool. So I'm just going to walk through. Okay, registration. Really good folks here. Good morning.
Welcome to the Daytona Show.
All right. How's that registration, ladies? All right, here we go. We're going to just roll down here. And look at this. We're going to stop and come back and talk to these people. This is one side here. Then you have the other side over here. I mean, this is just a hallway. Look at that. Look at this stuff. And then you got a back row. Look on the back wall. I'm not going there yet, but look on the back wall. All those collections. Good to see some kids here. All right, I need to slow down because I got to look at the other side. In that room there will be the auction room. We're going to talk about that later. I'm trying to do a walkthrough, and I'm still in the hallway. I just want you to see how big it is, but there's some amazing stories here with these plugs. And look at one of the first people I see. Hey, Gail. She's gonna run for the camera. Where are you going? I'm doing a walkthrough. Okay, I'm gonna have to keep walking. I have to do the whole show just a walkthrough. Okay, here we go. I'm gonna stop it now. We're coming. Okay, there's two sides of the hallway. Here's the room, one part of the room. What do you think? This is okay. This is amazing. Each hall, okay, is just full of old plugs. Okay. This is it. Okay, now, you think that's something? Check it out. How about this side over here? There are all kinds of stories against the wall over here. All the way over there. We're just doing a walkthrough now. All right, we're not finished yet. A lot of familiar faces we have. Some new people. Okay, and on the back side, back here, they sort of concentrate on the reels. Through here, the reel guys. And if you get bored, you can walk out. And there's the Atlantic Ocean, the ocean front. Hi, folks. We're here with Chuck Hedden of the Hedden family that actually started the early years of the fishing plug industry. Chuck, yeah. So good to see you again.
Good to see you, Winston.
Tell us the Hedden story in a nutshell.
Well, the story is that my great-grandfather James went down to the mill pond to fish, and he was waiting on a friend of his, and he started whittling on a piece of wood and tossed it into the water, and the bass hit it. And that set an idea off in his brain, and it went on from there. He went on to carve some and put hooks on them and line ties and started the industry.
And it's been in the family for a very long time.
Yeah, that was pre-1900.
Pre-1900.
He actually did that.
And he actually started manufacturing of them up in Dowagiac, Michigan. Dowagiac, Michigan. Yeah. And now you've kept it going as far as collecting and all. You've had a pretty good head of collection.
Well, this part of it right here behind us, and I've been collecting since, I think, 86.
Yeah.
When I got exposed to Mr. Clyde Harbin, who was one of the founders of the National Fish and Lure Collectors Club.
Yes.
And he came by and interviewed me and spoke with my dad as well, and got into Mohawk, Florida, where the Stokes family had a lodge back in the 1800s and early 1900s that my grandparents came to, and that was in outside Mineola,
Yes.
which is next to Claremont, so a big metropolis. And Clyde was very excited about seeing. I brought some of the lures that my grandfather had in his tackle box that my dad had given me, and Clyde had never seen some of them, so he got very excited, and that got me in the club.
Okay, that's cool. I know they love coming down here fishing back in the early years. I know that helped them in actually lure design and all.
Right. They actually experimented there. They moved they built their first home in Mineola in 1910, and they had been coming down before that for the winters, and they experimented with lures and developed several of different ones down in Florida.
Yeah. Well, what a wonderful family legacy you have. If we carry it on, it's just encouraging to see this. So,
well, I'm having a great time with it. It's met a lot of nice people in this club.
And you live down here?
I live in Longwood, next door now.
Okay. And do you have time to do any fishing?
The last year I haven't done much, but prior to that I got a little boat there and fish on the St. Johns River usually.
Oh,
that
cool.
sort of thing.
And I guess, do you have some good plugs to fish with?
I don't fish with any of these cases, but I've got some old beat up ones that I just still fish with.
Just for fun.
Yeah.
All right, Chuck. So great talking to you.
Well, enjoyed it, Wesley.
Thank you. Okay, it's not just the plugs. Of course, we love the plugs and all this, all the little paraphernalia. And we always love these little motors. Johnson motor. Now this table over here, Gail, she don't want me to do this, but I'm gonna buy some more. Folks, these are not antiques. Some of these are antique. $2 a piece. These guys go to all kind of yard sales and everything. And look at this collection here. Each bag is $2. I mean, everything on here is $2. I'm gonna spend some money, but this is really not antique stuff. But this is Winston to go fishing. Look, that whole thing is $2 right there. I'm gonna buy that right now. But anyway, I got a bag. Gail's at another table. She don't know what I'm doing there. Here's my bag right here. I'm gonna fill up this bag. Okay. Y'all excuse me. Here's a cool collection. This is called a Pemberton Busy Bait. It was made in the 30s and started out in around Sefner, Florida. But this collection is unique because of the colors. I mean, this is a very good collection. They got a patent on it. The guy's name was U.Z. Pemberton and his sons. And you got to understand how much fishing was done in Central Florida here. And here, this whole collection, we're going down the road. Here's a picture of he and his daughter-in-law. They call it a busy bait. And you see the unique variations he had of it. This is such an extensive collection. Some old newspaper stories. They call some of them the flapper because the ladies back then were called flappers, I guess. But here's the packages, and this is just, even down here, all kind of different things. And here, what's unique, what really makes a collection valuable, honestly, is not just the plugs, but if you can get some of the boxes. Like right here, the Pemberton bug bait, not the busy bait, the bug bait. And it goes on. actually, then I think the Costa, we're going to talk about the Costa later, that they were not partners, but somehow they got hooked up. Actually, some of the packages, they bought some Costa boxes and put this on top of the Costa lure box. And here's, for winding down now, here's another advertisement, and you see you got this whole packages. These are almost 80, 90 years old, some of these are. That's a Pemberton bug bait. Oh, it's Pemberton and Sons, Sefner, Florida. Okay, I want to show this because this was Wendy used to do a little bit of collecting. She got busy, but her favorite lure was the Heddon pumpkin seeds. And they just come in so many different colors. And pumpkin seed, and this is a great collection. Notice how they did from the center to the little sizes, and they sort of grew out to the big sizes. But look at it, different paint patterns that Heddon came up with. This is just really cool. This side over here, that's again some of all different sizes, and you can see the boxes for the pumpkin seed. Now, another one of my favorites in the Florida collection is the Palm Beach Pier Company. They made the wiggle fish. This is a cool collection because it has the boxes. These boxes are very hard to find. And they were developed actually fishing off the West Palm Beach Pier. And you can see these are very collectible lure. One of my favorites. Nothing fancy about them, but they will catch a lot of fish. They made a little wiggle diver, and then they made some others. This next collection I'm going to show is the Eagle Bait Company. It's one of my favorites. It comes out of Bartow, Florida, and it's just a great story. One of the premier Florida lure makers. Folks, at every show, there's always something sort of unusual that doesn't necessarily have to do with fishing and all, but it has to do with the water. This caught my eye big time. This is an actual certificate of authenticity. This comes from the wreck, the Atocha, which in 1622 was a Spanish galleon, a treasure galleon that sank off Key West, and Mel Fisher spent a lifetime of recovering this treasure. This is actually some of the treasure from that wreckage. I touch it and I just feel, how many times you get a chance to just touch part of history from 1622? This is amazing. It's for sale, I think for $12,000. I'm gonna tell them, I'm gonna see if I can get some, pop out some fishing lures or something. Okay, Keith will give me special permission to actually put this around me. So you're going to see, first time ever, folks, how about that? This is 1622. This is true history in our country. Okay, another early Florida lure maker, the Garland Brothers out of Plant City, Florida. This is actual some of the grill boxes. What they made was a cork head, and the head here was made out of cork. It's painted over, and that would keep it floating really good. They actually had a patent on it. All right, folks, ran into a familiar face, a guy I've known a long time, Steve Fox. Steve?
Yep.
Good to see you again, buddy.
Always good to see you and Gail.
Well, listen, your roots go deep in Bay County. Tell the folks about your roots.
Well, my family settled in North Florida 7 years before Florida became a state. 1838. I'm actually a mixture of several of the pioneer families, the Mashburns, the Coxes, Porters, the Gainers, and even in Millville, the Georges, my mom's side. But yeah, we actually owned property up on Econfina still that my great-grandfather, Charles Wesley Cox, first purchased in 1874.
And you still have that in the family?
Still have that in the family.
Awesome.
Still have the deeds for the 2 parcels. One that President James Buchanan signed with the prior owner, and then it became my great-grandfather's, and another one that Teddy Roosevelt signed with the homestead of the other 160
Well, that's
acres.
awesome.
So we've been here a while.
Okay, so you with this kind of history and background and heritage, it's just natural you get into collecting old fishing tackle. So how long have you been doing this?
Yeah, well, you did a story with Nikki and I think Stan Kirkland did some of it too for one of the Florida wildlife issues. And we actually started collecting commercial ice fishing decoys around the Great Lakes area. My home office of my longtime company, Northwestern Mutual, is headquartered in Milwaukee, so it took me up to the Great Lakes frequently. And I just love anything old and sporting goods, sporting collectibles and things. So I started with that, and then met you, and we had kind of collectively started a little Bay County Tackle Collectors Club.
Did.
And then I found out about the Florida Tackle Collectors Club from you. I'd already been to a national club, NFLCC meet, and once I found out there were such things as Florida lures, I started collecting the Florida lures. I had to specialize because there's no way we can all get all of it. It's just not there, and you try, and so.
And Steve, I'm going to tell you this, Steve just had a massive collection, and we've sort of started doing this together and all, and we're going to just show us some of your collection because this is amazing.
Winston, one significant part of my collection that I worked on for about 15 years to actually get is Henry Flagler's fishing rod and reel combo, and I did a professional workup of Ed and Carolyn Corwin's research on it, and as you know, Henry Flagler was Florida East Coast Railroad tycoon, and Flagler College is named after him. He's big in Florida history, and I was fortunate enough to put these pieces together.
These are his pieces then?
These are his personal Vom Hoff, distributed by William Mills and Sons, reel, and the 1888 patent on the rod. And I later found an original Florida East Coast Railway Flagler system porcelain sign, and it kind of adds to the entire collection.
Original.
Early Bay County Tackle Club had another member who was a very talented Bay Countyan, Mac Finch. I think he was a distributor for Sherwin-Williams Paints for many years, and he did some of the most gorgeous work. This is an example of his work, the carved boat that he handmade with the fish traps, also handmade, very intricately done. He made a lot of lures. All of his lures have an MF or Mac Finch on them, and these are lures that I was able to get from the estate when the club had an auction after he passed away. Mac was extremely talented. He was known for making his own hardware and doing his own carving on his lures. He used different woods with various effect, and with his association with Sherwin-Williams, was also a very talented painter and could paint the finishes as good as anybody I've ever seen. He actually hand-carved a few lures for my daughters, Nikki and Haley, and he's a very special guy, and he and his wife lived over on DeWitt Street in the Cove for many, many years. We've lost Mac now, he's gone, but his legacy lives on in his work. I was fortunate enough to purchase Fitzhugh Carter's tackle box. Fitzhugh is known in Bay County lore as the guy that created the chain lakes with all of the canals in the sandhills, and I think it's even a track that the game and fish people recognize, and you can still go out and fish there. Fitzhugh's box, I found one of only a handful of glass-eyed barracuda darters, number 40, in the color Blue Boy, which is a rare color for barracuda. I also got Fitzhugh Carter's handmade lure and hand painted, with a beautiful individually painted and dotted lure that his wife, apparently, the story goes, caught a 14-pound, 8-ounce bass on in one of the Chain Lakes ponds that Fitzhugh had made this lure for on the very first cast with the lure, the first time it ever hit there.
That's a great fish story.
14 pounds, 8 ounces.
14 pounds.
And Fitzhugh, he's definitely in Bay County history.
Legendary.
Okay, I'm here with Larry Lucas, the show host. The man who sort of put all this together with a lot of help. But,
A lot of help, a lot of good help.
well, tell us about this year's show. We have a lot of folks.
This year's show's our 31st annual. We've been at this hotel plaza in Daytona 29 of those years.
What got you into collecting old tackle?
My grandfather, he gave me his old tackle box, and it had a lure from Daytona Beach in here, ported lure made in the 50s here in Daytona Beach.
Yeah.
And I kind of cherished it and started reading about it and learning about the company and just started acquiring more. And
So you're
mess.
a porter collector for the most part.
for the most part,
Cool.
tackle made here in Daytona Beach.
That's cool.
Thanks for watching America's only daily outdoor TV show, Panhandle Outdoors with Winston Chester, featuring hunting, fishing, and other activities and information to help you enjoy the great outdoors. Join us next time for Panhandle Outdoors.